Hey, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls. Just thought I'd put out another kind of quick video, kind of top of mind around the election and something that just completely amazes me. Even though I know and appreciate how strong the propaganda mainstream media engine is and how they have hypnotized a sect of society that don't want to listen and understand and appreciate and realize a lot of key things. Um, Watched President Trump's speech last night, where he basically said, this is kind of probably one of the most important speeches that I'll ever give. And of course, I listened to it. A lot of what he talked about, I already know because I have been paying attention to a lot of the trials or affidavits, testimonies that were happening across Michigan, Arizona, Pennsylvania. So I've been paying attention to a lot of that. So I know kind of what's going on. I kind of came right out of the election, kind of being aware of what was happening. So a lot of it was not news to me, but I'm hoping that it wasn't really news to a lot of people out there, probably more than what the media is making you think. But number one surprise was that frankly no one, even my heralded, Newsmax, Blaze TV, none of them are talking about his speech last night and what he was talking about. No one. Um, so that's number one. Hopefully, what I hope people appreciate and realize out there is you've got two things going on here. So number one, you've got hundreds, if not approaching thousand or thousands of sworn affidavits. What does that mean? These are sworn testimonies by people that if they are shown to be lying, there's criminal ramifications of that. Go to jail, maybe financial penalties. I don't know, but there's serious ramifications for lying under a sworn affidavit. That's number one. That versus what's being coined, obviously the fake news media, who is saying there's no substance, there's no proof in this. This is all conjecture. There's nothing there. We obviously know that they lie all the time. We obviously know that they propagandize people and make you think there's really nothing to see here, even though there's not only smoke, but we're seeing fire. So, with those two things in mind, I would hope more and more people would take serious what's being shown. So I mean that's kind of ultimately, the main point I want to put out there is if you're not paying attention, you've got sworn affidavits, which is people under oath that have sworn that they've witnessed, had experienced, and been part of a stolen election. And we're not talking about one or two like votes here and there, as Trump said in his speech last night. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. If you didn't watch the rally in Georgia yesterday with Lin Wood and Sidney Powell, go watch it. I happen to think there's probably a much, much, much bigger uprising happening around this election than what the media will have you believe. Um, Again, as I've said time and time again, I know where this will end, so I'm not freaking out, but it still amazes me that we have proof like this, and the media is so brazenly, so ballsy to say that there's nothing to see here. Go someplace else. But I'm a little disappointed in Newsmax, a little disappointed in some of the other media outlets that have been fair and balanced up to this point and have been kind of speaking a little bit more clearly and transparently on what's going on. And I've been saying also that once the establishment gets their hooks into these alternative outlets, once their financial pressures are put on them, once they get exposed to being a worthy outlet to go and pay attention to, that you'll start to see them turn as well. I've said this before, and maybe we're starting to see signs of that. So, to me, the news of the day is not the COVID virus, which they're talking about a lot. They're talking to doctors about the vaccine and all this other stuff. No, what's most important, singularly most important, is what's going on to correct this election. The best place that I'm continuing to see is Steve Bannon's war room on America's Voice from 10 to 12, and then I think it's from 5 to 7 or 5 to 6 in the afternoon. And they give you up to the minute analysis of what's happening with the court hearings, and bringing into the conversation, those people that are in the courtroom and are actually fighting the good fight. So, if it hasn't sunk in yet or not, if this were to allow to go, and the election allowed to be stolen, then the democracy that we've loved for so long, the freedoms we've loved for so long, ultimately that will be gone. So I suggest you really start sharing your voice. You really start shaking the trees a little bit more about making it right. And I think it's working. I think it's happening. I can't see our president kind of walking away from a stolen election. No way. And if he did, I mean, there would be a huge uprising. So anyway, to kind of come back full circle to the main point here is sworn affidavits, sworn testimony by people that have been there, saw that, been involved in it, of stolen votes and what's been happening there. There's statistical analysis that also prove that this was stolen. Okay? And this versus the media, which has no ramifications for just simply lying and telling untruths and propagandizing and hypnotizing their small masses away and look the other way from this. So what would you believe? If you're a fair and balanced person and you're open-minded, what would you believe? The media that has no ramifications for lying, and we know they're out to get the president out of the office and get we the people out of the office? Or would you believe people that actually have serious ramifications for telling an untruth? Think about it. So I just want to kind of put that out there. And then, just as a final kind of quick note, again, I think the Georgia rally yesterday that Lin Wood and Sidney Powell and others kind of spoke to was really good. I've never seen Lin Wood speak, and it was very impassioned, and he certainly made me think that maybe there could be some people there ready to take the helm when the helm becomes available again, talking about the presidency and the three-letter agencies. I'd love to hear what Sidney Powell says. I've been saying for a long time, and most of you have been saying for a long time, that three-letter agencies either need to go away or they need to be seriously restructured and cleaned house. And I swear, Sidney Powell, she certainly says the right things. So for what it's worth, maybe that's what you need. You need is someone's like that in our offices to continue the good fight and continue to clean house. So with all that being said, again, the past 4 years in my mind has been all about, progressing certain points, improving, righting the ship, setting the stage. And the second term will then be about pulling the trigger and truly draining the swamps. Draining the swamp wasn't going to happen fast. It wasn't going to happen easy. People had to be awakened. So I think a lot of what we're going through is kind of, in some ways, a bit purposeful so that people will see what's going on. And I think we the people and our president has been successful to that end. So anyway, quick video I want to put out there. I like to keep these things short and simple. Love to hear your feedbacks.